2 videos ago, we caught what we thought was the pond monster. But when we opened it up, we found Logan. We had our suspicions that the Lake Corporation had been changing him into a pond monster. We now need a new method to get there and get this antidote.
How often should we equalize while going down? Should we equalize early and often? True or false?
I believe equalizing refers to going pee-pee. We're heading deep under the murky water to find an entrance to this underwater base. Hey yo, what's going on guys? It's Papa G and welcome back to another video. Things are getting even crazier because we got Logan in our bathtub and he's sort of turning into a pond monster. Logan, how you doing there, buddy?
I'm okay.
2 videos ago, we caught what we thought was the pond monster. But when we opened it up, we found Logan. We had our suspicions that the Lake Corporation had been changing him into a pond monster. You guys had all been commenting saying that Logan is turning into one. And when we found him, he'd already started to turn. And he loves Fruit Loops. Yeah, he's very hungry all the time.
Logan, feeding time!
So we've decided that we need to find a cure and stop Logan from fully turning into a pond monster before it's too late, especially before he eats Biggs.
It's gonna eat me?
The only way to do this is we believe that there is an antidote that is located inside the Lake Corporation's underwater lab. If you guys remember when we were going on the pond and driving our box fort boat, we found what we believe to be a massive underwater laboratory. This was further proven when we had the FBI's USB stick and they had photos of the lab. After our failed attempt to make a box fort submarine to actually go down to the underwater lab, we now need a new method to get there and get this antidote. Whoa, okay. Food, more food. We got that, we got that.
More food.
Give him every all the food.
Chips!
Fight the pond monster side. Remember who Logan is, the guy who loves flowers and yoga. Make sure to lock up the door.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit, Logan.
Okay, I have an idea as to how we can get to that underwater lab, but it's gonna require us physically diving down there. Because the submarine didn't work.
What do you mean physically diving down there? There's other pond monsters in there.
Yes, but if we're quick enough, we can get down to the underwater base, break in, sneak around, find the antidote.
I hate when you make things that are so hard sound so easy.
The only thing stopping us right now is learning how to dive. Our friends over at Scuba 2000 have hooked us up with a courtesy course to teach us how to scuba dive so we can go back to our pond and dive down and find the underwater base.
Which I still don't think is a good idea.
It's the only way we're gonna find the antidote to cure Logan. All right, well, come on, let's get inside and start learning to scuba dive.
They've got yellow, they've got pink, they've got blue.
Phil, we're not here to buy goggles. The objective is knowledge. The great thing about Scuba 2000 is if you are interested in scuba diving and you live in the Toronto area, it is the best store to visit. It's got an indoor heated pool and it's heated all year round. 7,000 square feet of retail space, extremely friendly staff, and every weekend you yourself can learn to scuba dive. They also have a travel service where you can rent, buy, and learn. And if we can do it, you can do it.
Guys, I found a spoon.
Why don't we get to the classroom and start learning so we can get back to the pond and save Logan?
And a giant fan, Big Z.
Nice.
Yeah, we really need to speak to someone who knows what they're doing
You really
here.
gotta try this out, man. You really gotta try it out.
This is water. Above water, there is sun.
Does Jake know I didn't do very well in school?
Neither did I.
Pressure, big pressure.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna take over from here.
Remember, no messing around. This is important.
Okay, and that's it for the theory. It's now time for the quiz.
Quiz? 100%.
We're being tested.
So, how often should we equalize while going down? Should we equalize early and often? True or false?
I believe equalizing refers to going pee-pee. Often.
Often.
Early and often.
True.
True.
Equalizing refers to your ears.
How do you peel your ears?
You don't pee out of your ears.
All right, boys, this is it. We're finally ready to learn to scuba dive. We get to put the tanks on.
These are your BCDs. They're going to help you float on the surface as well as sink down below the surface.
It's like a jetpack that you can control up, down by using air. Oh, I feel like I'm skydiving, but underwater. And guys, let us know in the comment section down below, have you ever been scuba diving? If you had, tell us where you've scuba dived before. And also, do not forget, this is a great time to smack that like button, hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, hit that bell button. Because we upload 3 times a week and you never want to miss a brand new video.
Ready for business.
I'm halfway to scuba diving.
Maybe not half.
Oh.
It's time to scuba dive!
Jake,
I'm not scuba diving.
I'll see you guys on Bikini Bottom.
I don't think it's time yet. Wait.
I think we're supposed to have oxygen tanks on.
Well, it's not exactly an oxygen tank. It's a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen, same as the air we breathe. So it is an air tank.
So this might sound a little bit confusing, but there's sort of like an underwater base that we're traveling to. That forget about that whole point. How long can we last 10 meters underwater with these?
You can probably last about an hour.
Well, that's good information to know.
Remember guys, if we don't properly learn how to do this, not only is there the danger of the pond monster, who could be lurking in the pond as we're trying to dive down.
Now, you want to breathe underwater?
More than anything in the world.
You're going to need a regulator.
A rega what now?
Your regulator.
But we also need to make sure that we can safely make it to the base and back. If any of our scuba equipment fails or anything goes wrong, we need to make sure we go from zeros to heroes when it comes to scuba diving.
First of all, to make sure the air is good, you want to sniff it. So you push back here and smell it.
Smells like air.
Smells like goldfish.
Put the regulator, second stage, in your mouth.
All right guys, we're now inside the pool and it's time to test our scuba diving skills. We're gonna learn by doing some practice tests here and figuring out everything we need to know about scuba diving so we can take this back to the pond and get to the underwater base. Time to dive.
The boys are in the water. Jakey is floating.
Dude, this is awesome.
Dixie is floating.
It's gonna be a little harder to see in a pond, but so far this is sick.
Lower your head down so that you are breathing underwater to start while still standing.
Okay guys, so we are now officially in the pool. We're ready to start scuba diving. We've got our tanks on. We've got all of the equipment we need. Now we're gonna run through some tests so that we're comfortable with scuba diving and we'll know how to get to the underwater base. We've got our regulator, we've got our BCD inflator if we need to inflate our BCD. And of course, so I think for the first test, all of us are gonna have to try and get down to the bottom of the pool and then make it back up on here. We gotta do this. Here we go. We'll have me versus Phil versus Biggs, and that way we'll get accustomed to being deep underwater and also using all of our gear.
And when you win, you get to go to the top.
I'm gonna win.
Let's go. One of the coolest things about the BCD is that when you're on top of the water and you inflate it, you just float. Look at that. And then when you're ready to go down.
Oh, see you later, Jakey. Okay, guys, up next, Biggs and Jake are gonna do a little race to the bottom of the pool. I'm gonna head down with the GoPro, and we're gonna see who gets there first.
See something wrong with my regulator?
No.
Okay guys, now that we're all dried off and we have all the knowledge that we need for scuba diving, I think it's time that we finally go back to the underwater base and we try and track down the Lake Corporation and hopefully find a cure for Logan. Again, I want to give a huge thanks to SCUBA 2000 for helping teach us and supply us with the gear to go track down the Lake Corporation, because without them, Logan might be stuck in our bathtub forever. Time to build ourselves another box fort on a boat, grab our gear, head back to the underwater base. After visiting our friends at SCUBA 2000 and learning how to scuba dive, it was finally time for us to head back to the underwater base. With our brand new scuba skills and a new set of scuba gear, we're heading deep under the murky water to find an entrance to this underwater base. We'll have to be careful because there's no way of knowing how many lay agents are actually working at this base. Time to get past any scary pond monsters and find our way into this base.